Hey, what's up, YouTube? Happy Monday night. It is Monday, March 2nd. Shot the Marion Road Gun Club Winter War 4 Memorial Valor match this weekend. I say Memorial Valor because they donate the proceeds to Memorial Valor and have a bunch of sponsors. So, real quick about the match and the club. So, Marion Road Gun Club is outside of Macon, Georgia. It's on the east side, the Savannah side, out Interstate 16. They've done this the last 4 years. The first year I think was just a bigger 3-gun match. The match director has been a guy named Lance. I don't know if he wants his name out there. So a guy named Lance, but I think this year might have been his last year. He's getting older, right? It's harder to go set up this stuff when you're getting older. I know he still wants to compete, right? And I think that's a balance. For match directors is competition versus running matches. But I think the match is going to keep going. They usually do it the second half of February. It kind of bounces around a little bit depending on schedule. And they close down their whole range. These guys have, I've been shooting there since I moved to Georgia. It's kind of the last holdout that I know of. I think there's one range up in northern Georgia that does a quarterly 3-gun, but it's kind of old school 3-gun. Not really what the modern game is. This is the only kind of modernized 3-gun, if you will, in the state of Georgia. And I think they only do a couple times a year. He usually does this, and then a lot of the time they'll do a prep match for Memorial in August or September. So 3-guns not doing real good in Georgia anyway. But yeah, so the goal the last 3 years has been to raise money and give a check to Memorial Valor Foundation. 2 years ago they raised $6,000. Last year they raised $7,000. This year they raised $8,000. And if you're not tracking the deal with the Memorial Valor Foundation, it's a large 3-gun match. It's a 10-stage 3-gun match, one of the biggest of the year. It's in October, and what they do is each stage of the 10 stages is after a fallen special operations soldier, and they give the family $10,000. So this match almost paid for the donation for one of the family members for 2026. So it's pretty cool. I don't have the results up. I finished okay in 70-ish%. Guy named Mike Perez won open. Did Jeremy Leitner win overall? I don't know if Jeremy did. Mike's a solid shooter. First, I'd seen him at multi-gun nats last year. First time I shot with him on Sunday, the day after. But he's a solid shooter. Comes from, I think he said Virginia, maybe Maryland. Virginia or Maryland. Sorry, Mike. But up in that area. Where there's not, I think it's Virginia. Not a lot of 3-gun up there because, Northeast United States stuff. But I did get to walk the prize table towards the end. This match has KCI is a big sponsor, so I grabbed a 33-round Glock mag, which is legal in the great state of Georgia. Memorial Valor had some pins, and these have underneath there's the tribute to one of the guys they have memorialized. Glock sponsored this, so I got a handy little Glock keychain, which my daughter wanted to put on her backpack, and I said, my wife and I had to explain that she would get expelled for this in 2026. I also had a Glock coffee mug, but it's in the dishwasher right now. I've got some brass monkey bullet certificates, which I gotta look. I don't reload handgun, so we'll figure out what's going on with that. I think I have to cover this part up. Hunter's HD Gold always comes in big. I'm gonna get some Hunter's HD Gold lenses for a set of Oakleys. I've got HD Golds right now. But I got another mat. I kind of went down the table. This KCI company had some like AK mags. I don't own an AK, so went to what I wanted more than the most valuable. Everything here except the brass monkey, I think I can use, and if they have 5.56 or something, I'll just get some 5.56 bullets and be very happy. All right, so happy to walk the prize table. Shot a little above 70% of Mike in the match. I feel bad. Let's pull it up real quick and see who won the overall match. I'm sorry, YouTube. I'm usually much more prepared than this. It's got a practice score does this weird verification thing now. Oh yeah, Chuck Lowe. Chuck Lowe was there. Sorry, Chuck. He just friended me on Facebook today. Chuck Lowe was there. He actually shot it with staff in the mud on Saturday, and then put 4% into my shooting open, and it went downhill from there. So Chuck continues to crush life as a modified shooter. So yeah, Chuck Lowe, 1 modified, Mike Perez, 1 open, and then Jeremy Leitner, 1 TAC Ops. All right, and then some local. Jake Carrillo came up, shot well. Lance shot well as staff on Friday, and then some of the other local heavy hitters from the Georgia area. This gets some travel. We usually get some Alabama shooters. We get some Florida shooters. Like I said, Mike came down from a little further up the East Coast. But I'll explain that as I go. So the way this match works is they'd run a 6-stage 3-gun match on Saturday, and then they usually have burgers and stuff to do award ceremony, present the check to Memorial Valor, and then they would come back Sunday and run a 2-gun match. The 3-gun match follows Zoo City rule book. The 2-gun match more or less followed the PCSL rule book as far as like stuff. Both of them are Time Plus. Lance is a Time Plus fan, so everything's been Time Plus so far. Might change in the future to Hit Factor, because some of the other guys are PCSL shooters and like Hit Factor. Just kind of depends on scoring. So yeah, so that's that. So talk sponsors, talk match, talk who won. There were some bigger names signed up for this, and they kind of backed out over time. But I mean, like if you're in the USPSA stuff, Chuck came out and crushed modified shotgun last year. He's a top level shooter. Mike Perez has been around and known, and you got to beat him, right? He's one of those guys you got to beat. Maybe he's not gonna win multi-gun nationals, but he's a guy you're gonna have to beat if you want to win it. And then Jeremy Leitner usually finishes well in TAC Ops, kind of an old school TAC Ops shooter. All right, so that's that. So let's start running through stages right now. So I new setup, new range cart, blah blah blah. Bottom line, my hat camera wasn't working on Saturday. It was dead. I put it on, hit it, and it made a weird buzz. I didn't realize till afterwards. So I did not get the first stage, which was stage 4, which was a mud fest, which was a triangular stage that you had to hit all the positions with all the guns. As we'll go into this, the way this worked, white paper targets were rifle both days. Brown were slug or pistol option, and then blue steel was pistol, white was pistol shotgun option, and then long range orange was shotgun, and pink was rifle, I think is how it worked out. Which orange and pink for me were hard to tell the difference in, but it is what it is. All right, so we'll also have varying angles because I handed different people the camera each time, and we'll talk some more about the match as we go. All right, so the first stage I got on camera was stage 5, which was my best stage. This stage starts with a rifle spinner. Well, starts with some rifle paper and then into a rifle spinner, a drop mag target, and then go to shotgun. So here we go.
Stay by.
All right. So 3 quick rifle. You had 2 options. You could take these from here or later on in the match. They were 6-8-inch steel at about 100 yards. Then you had about a 100-yard rifle spinner. These were 3-shot spinners. If you hit them good, you could get them in 3 shots. I did not quite get this one in 3, but I got it. Kind of brain farted there and then you had to slant before the drop mag target. Then you had to sling your rifle, which was kind of different, but it's a fun challenge. Then came my good old nemesis here, the door, which I whipped the first 2 on and then got on the 3rd one. From there, you had a 2 shotgun spinners and a slug target. So got the shotgun spinner moving, shot the slugs, and then got the right spinner over. Then decent on the left spinner. Yep, there we go. Dump shotgun right there. Everything was unloaded, so I had to load pistol. Go to pistol. Some quick paper, which was kind of fun. Then you had 7 steel back in the trees that were not super hard. I did get one of them halfway on the move right there, but they were like 10 or 12-inch circles. More moving pistol, which is always fun. It's kind of, you don't see a ton of that anymore. It's fun in Time Plus because you can just kind of run it. Then you had a plate rack here, and then you'll see me turn to right at the very end with a long-range pistol target. There we go. unload, back to rifle. This was a really horrible, slow, probably 10-second get rifle back in operation. You had 4 static steel and another rifle spinner here from the end. And because we're playing Zoo City rules, you could stage a tripod in the vicinity of said tank trap. They did have flashers on all the long range, which is nice. You see those are kind of A-zone steel at 100. So not give me targets, but also not super hard targets. It's all right. Decided to have an early bourbon tonight. I got a lot of stages to go through. All right, so that was stage 5. Then we went down the hill to stage 6. Stage 6 was kind of a weird one. You either had to start on one side or the other and work your way across. I didn't walk stages the day prior. If I had, but I don't know if I'd have shot it this way, but this is what I was told the good stage plan was, so I just memorized it and executed it. All right, so I'm going to pistol start here on some paper and steel. So here we go. And if you're looking at the targets, by the way, if you're looking at the targets in this, you'll see they're kind of goofy looking. It's kind of a newer target vendor that's not USPSA or PCSL certified. So that's why they're kind of goofy. All right, so had a pistol malfunction there. Went to a hot holster. Had a slug target out there. Had a miss on one of the clays. The right thrower didn't throw very good. I knew that going into it. It was what it was. Rifle was already kind of tired of, or shotgun was already kind of tired of slugs at this point, which was frustrating. I haven't figured slugs out with that thing. Then to rifle, you had 1 rifle steel there. Come in the center, you had 6 more rifle steel, and those 2 paper. For whatever reason, this was the only stage they were not painting the steel between every shooter. So I hit this last one here. There's 1 more to the right that I never got on and never saw, and it was a chip shot, 50-yard shot. So you see good old Chuck there, say 1. It was muddy, just a turn and plant, trying to stay safe. 2 paper there. Then you had to come into this last kind of position here. You had 1 steel hanging back there, some knockdown steel that were option, and then end on a paper. Not a great time, not a bad time. Just kind of a mediocre. I think the clay didn't kill me. The rifle killed me. I think that was a 10-second penalty for missing that. So that sucked. Definitely could have shot that in under 10 seconds. Okay, so we're about to go to stage 1 now. Stage 1 was, I'm only going to play 1 half of it. So they decided to add a shoot-off stage. One of the other guys that was running the Sunday match, Chris, he went and shot PCSL Nationals. Loved the shoot-off. He also shot Memorial. Loved the shoot-off there too. So they decided to add a shoot-off stage both Saturday night and Sunday night. I did not stay for the shoot-offs. I'm exhausted now. I can only imagine where it would have been if I'd stayed. So what they did was you shot a shoot-off, and that kind of, and how you did on the shoot-off stage as one of the stages decided if you made it into the shoot-off at night. I didn't make it in the shoot-offs. For Saturday, you shot a time on the right side and a time on the left side, and then went from there. All right, so here we go. This was the only kind of thing that's kind of weird here is all 3 guns were unloaded starts. So even though this is normally pretty easy or pretty quick, fast times were in the mid 20s, low 20s. I didn't see any times in the teens except maybe Chuck. Yeah. But he probably wasn't that fast either because he would have been unloaded on a mod gun. Mod gun. So I had to throw 2 quads in. Good old Patrick there. If you shoot on the East Coast, you've met Patrick. This was my second one. I shot the rifle plate rack much better here. Shot it really good on Sunday. Not really good. Didn't go 6 for 6, but just shot it much better. Like I said, just kind of awkward having to load all the guns as you went. Had another malfunction on the pistol. So what's going on with the pistol? My 170 mags are getting old, and I have not replaced the springs in them. So I shelved them after this and said, you know what? I'm not going to shoot those anymore because they're obviously not working. The springs are weak. So I just shot everything with 140 mags. All right, on to stage 2. Stage 2 is a fun little down and back. It was a rifle start. You had 5 steel up on the hill. You had to shoot it from one side of their little ladder there, then switch to the other side. The far targets are like 100 yards. They're not that far, but again, A-zone steel. And then you had to move over and shoot a very generous KYL rack. I think they were like 12, 8, and 4 inches, and they're at like 40 yards. So not super hard. I'm sorry, my dog is complaining that I haven't thrown her ball. All right, so you might hear some growling down there. And then you had to work your way down. Oh, then you dumped rifle. We'll just watch the video. All right. Muzzle start on red letter rung. All right, and this was pretty simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I had one makeup shot here. Just maybe not. Yep, makeup shot right there. Called a good shot, wasn't good. Stayed on the same target. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they were calling targets along or hits along with it, the flashers, which was nice. All right, quick run over here to this thing. Oh, you did. I forgot about those. You had some white paper, and then you had your little KYL rack right there. 1, 2, 3. Dump. Go to shotgun. This is one of those magnet ones, so these don't come off super easy. You got to hit them pretty solid. You'll see the bottom one down there. I felt like I was hitting it every time, but a lot of nicks. Went to a slug mag here, so there was an orange line on the ground there. You had to shoot that slug target up on the hill, that big one. So shotgun jammed to get on the slug, so it was what it was. I also ran by 2 targets on this one. I think I shot at 1. That's why I kind of looked there. I knew I was short some stuff, but it was what it was at that point. Little pistol with a mover. It's kind of slow moving. Then you came in here. 4 static steel, 6 plate rack, and then a pistol spinner. I did not shoot this stage awesome. But this is, a 50-yard bay with a hill behind it, and this is a lot going on here. Pretty good little stage. And then standing reloads are always fun, especially when a spinner's slowing down. Got it over, and then I couldn't remember if I hit that or not. I had not, so one more shot to hit it, which saved me a couple second penalty. So again, didn't have my head in the game, didn't pre-walk any of this. Finished okay, but definitely could have finished better if I'd have had my head in the game. That's a stage I should have shot much better if I'd had my head in the game. That's a picture. Sorry. All right, last stage of the day for me was stage 3. Stage 3 was just a straight line, and it was, again, how do you do this with all 3 guns and figure life out and use your slugs to your advantage. So I started with shotgun, slugged some paper to save myself a position on the pistol. All right, here we go.
Shooter, are you ready? Stand by.
All right, so activate the Polish plate rack, slug, slug, slug. Some pretty easy shotgun shots. 2 static steel in the middle that apparently people left all day, and then yet another spinner. This club has a lot of spinners for a small club. Oh, do want to shout out Zoo City. Apparently Zoo City brought a lot of their steel down and helped the club out because the club had used up all their resources. So Zoo City came down to help out, so it was awesome of them. Of course, they're big supporters of the Memorial Valor Foundation. And switch to rifle. Nothing really hard here on rifle. There were 2 minis inside no shoots on the back wall there. You're at like 30 yards, so not hard shots at all, but people were ripping them too fast. It's worth the extra couple tenths to steady the rifle and make sure you just put them in the middle. And then close out with pistol. You had the Polish plate rack there. It had slowed down a bit. That thing kind of gets going and gets wild. 2 pistol paper, and then 1 static pistol up on the hill that took 4 shots to hit, which is sad. All right, so that was the end of day 1.
72.
This is going to be maybe a 40-minute. Tell you what, we're going to stop here, and then I'm going to make a second video for the 2-gun. All right, so this will be part 1, part 2. All right, so like I said, Didn't have a great day. Didn't pre-walk stages. Shotgun issues that I knew about and didn't take care of. Pistol magazine issues that are on me for fixing. But still did okay. Still walked the price table. Decent price table, right? I think, well, I don't want to say how much it is. I think YouTube has started zapping YouTube videos if you talk about entry fees. So I'm not going to say how much it cost me. So 23rd overall out of 86 shooters. So top 25% of people. 69.7% of Chuck overall. And then if I swap to open, it was like 72.61% of open. So not great, not bad, but not great. Yeah. So that was my Saturday. Got done shooting around 5. The shoot off started around 6 and I took off. I live about an hour and a half, 2 hours from this range. So I got home around 8, got in the shower, got in bed at 9 because I was getting up at 4 the next morning to head back out for another 6 stages. All right. So we'll talk about those next. Thanks, YouTube. That is the 3-gun match of Winter War 4.